Sometimes such a thing is unclear. I said sometimes such a thing is unclear. I said sometimes such a thing is unclear. I said sometimes such a thing is unclear. Did you hear? I am near, and I am dear to who I am. When I fly like a bird on my command. I'm weird. Holy shit! I am weird as a fucker can be. I am. It's true. You can look at me or not look at me. Doesn't fucking matter. Oh. All right. Well, no, you can't just do things and expect to get everything right. Just like one after the other, a flowing river. A flowing river comes to me to say to you what I want to see. A flowing river, that is me! As mad and crazy as I am, I'm growing leaves on these branches. So, it is clear that I am here to say to you what the fuck I want to say to you. And today's say of sayings of things that I have imagined in my mind, or some videos are things that actually happen in the real world, but not this one. This one is taking fiction and weaving it into the world that we have now. So a little bit of both. Little bit of imagination thrown into our great old nation. As fucked up as we make it sometimes. With our actions, or us. Should I say us? I'm not the politicians. What can I say? I'm not the politicians. I have no connection to what they're doing other than like, okay, every citizen pays taxes, you know? So, well, there's some people who try not to, but the IRS and them are not friends. As far as I can say. But, lame old tangents, I swear to God, they're lame as fuck. Monkey D. Luffy from One Piece. What would he do in a given situation? Now this one I think is a more interesting one. I don't know, I couldn't tell you any specific reason as to why Luffy would decide to run a political campaign. In fact, he doesn't really do that. The revolutionaries are more of Sabo and Monkey D. Dragon, you know? I don't know why I said that in a very accenty way. Because that's not the accent. That's not, it's like a different, one accent, switch it with another accent. Monkey D. Dragon, yeah. So it's like revolutionaries, yeah. Well, actually, they're not even politicians, really. They're revolutionaries, but I guess they want to rule the lands that they're going into. Yeah, blah, blah, blah. Yeah. And actually, Holy shit, while we're on that topic, let's... this is a tangent I want to go into. And maybe this is like, clip this out, make a separate video, and then start all over again. On the Luffy one. So, how would Luffy run a political campaign? Now, first off, we've already established in a long segment that you can go check out elsewhere about the fact that Sabo and the Revolutionary Army would probably be the ones running a political campaign. And oh, by the way, we have no idea what they would be running on. No idea. None. Go check that out. Maybe I'll link the video if I'm feeling real randy. Randy, where did I come up with that word? I'm not the type. I'm not the typical user of such a word. The Democrat, it just doesn't match up. Like, yeah, like, just doesn't match up. There's absolutely no connection. I mean, like, Italian American, like, New England, born and raised. Not gonna end up like, Randy. Oh, you're so Randy now, Randy. Randy, I'm telling you, Randy. Randy met Bob the other day and they went over to the store. And they got some crumpets. No, this is not gonna be in here. This is not gonna be in here. No, no, no! I mean nothing but... I mean nothing but good intentions. Oh. Crumpets! Fuck me, I'm dead, I'm dead. Oh. Alright. But I think the more important question here, rather than how would Luffy, some people say it that way for sure. How would Luffy run his political campaign? We can start off there. And aside from how Luffy would run his political campaign, the other big one we have here, is would Luffy run a political campaign under any circumstance? Well, the one circumstance I could think of would be is if there was some sort of like thing he needed to get through to One Piece, in which all of a sudden Luffy has to teleport to another world called Earth, in which he has to run as a politician in the 2020 campaigns against a bunch of politicians. How would Luffy run his campaign in this world to get to One Piece? Now, Luffy's a pretty handy guy. He can deal with being thrown a whole different situation than what he expected or what he dealt with up until then. I mean, Lord knows, the New World, even the Grand Line was, but the New World even so more is just this huge place where it's like, it's snowing, now it's raining, no, there's oranges in the water, now it's thunderstorming and snowing and sleeting. Oh, by the way, here's an island where it's snowing and flaming. Ah! I mean, you're throwing all sorts of different things. First you need, like, to have your shirt off, and then, shit, you need a winter coat. Where the hell did this come from? I mean, he's pretty adaptable. That's what I'm saying. Luffy is pretty adaptable. So I have no doubt that he would be able to adapt to such a situation in such a world like this. Lord knows he could not fight through a world such as complicated as this. Well, I mean, the other question is, would he go there with his devil fruit powers? If he was like super rubber crazy, maybe he could conquer the world. How does rubber deal against nuclear weapons? I mean, there's loads. I mean, there's a tank. I mean, if a tank shoots at it, well, we have cannons. A tank's probably more powerful than. Well, yeah, a tank's more powerful than cannons, right? I'm not the military expert here. Someone tell me, please. I'm fascinated. A tank, you know. Tank's probably more powerful than a cannon. We'll go with that for now. Until someone figures out how this shit's real, he happens. Or someone who knows comes and is like, dude, a tank is, you know, that's pretty equivalent. Or a tank is not as powerful as a cannon. I mean, a cannon just bursts through walls. A tank here, just, you know, it bursts through walls. But, like, the difference, man, is, like, between tank here and, like, cannon there is like, oh my god. What can I say? But Luffy would adapt. He would have to. I don't think he would then decide, oh, I'm gonna go, like, war over here. I'm just gonna go, like, punch some shit, you know? It was like, oh, income inequality. How am I gonna deal with, How would you run a political campaign? Seriously. Like, what you know, that marijuana's illegal. What are you gonna do about that, Luffy? Smoke some weed. Smoke some weed and not go to jail. Or I'll break out of the prison every time and they'll come back, and that's probably what he would do, let's be honest. Like, this is Luffy's political campaign. He cannot be contained. He's like broken so many laws, but they just can't keep him in a prison, and like they've tried to bring the military after him to like shoot him down, but like he doesn't die that way either. So he just shows up. He just shows up at a place and like, hey, I'm gonna have a rally here. So like 900 million fucking people show up at this fucking rally where Luffy's just there up there on stage. And the military is just like, we can't handle this. There's like 9 million of our citizens there. I mean, like, what do you want us to do? Like, kill our own citizens just to try and get to this one crazy person? I mean, I don't know what we can do anymore, government. Like, and, you know, like, we are your strong arm, but there's no way to strong arm this. I mean, this guy is literally, we can't contain him and we can't kill him. You know, and we're still trying to kill him, granted. But now he's got like 9 million people surrounding him, so he can like chatter his mouth off to them about how awesome he is. I mean, and how he's just gonna like, he's gonna be the next like president of the United States of America. Like, he's not even hell. He's not even of this world. He's not even of this dimension. If we can believe what he says. So he's completely not legal to be president, but apparently these 9 million people don't mind, because what he's saying, guys, what he's saying is resonating with them. Resonating so much, guys, that, fuck, I mean, we can't do shit about it. And this is like a one-man military by himself, nonetheless, we're never mind his fucking crew. This guy is like a tank, even better than a tank. He's like a tank combined with a drone, combined with pretty a nuclear weapon, and you know, I mean, I don't know if he's combined with a nuclear weapon. As we, you know, how does rubber meet nukes? I mean, I don't know. I really don't know. What happens when like hockey hardened rubber? When some armament hockey hardened rubber hits nuclear explosion, where does that go? Where does that end, you know? The mystery continues. But he's still, like, he is by himself an army, you know? He's an army, he can protect them, even if, like, somehow he doesn't end up in the government, so he can basically make his own moving country. But, like, thank God, like, you guys might as well just be saying thank God that he's running a political campaign instead, and like, oh, we're just gonna try and beat him, and then surely he'll stand down after that. And Luffy, you know, he'd start a revolution? I mean, if that's what he needed to get to One Piece, right? He'd start a revolution. He'd be like, you know, Sabo did this. You know, if ruling this country is what it takes for me to get to One Piece and get back to my world and get access to One Piece, then oh shit, that's what I'm gonna do, because that's how I'm gonna get to the point where I'll be living the most free. But how would he run a political campaign? No, seriously. I don't think I'm ever going to get to this. I think I'm just going to start talking about various little points in this and, like, expand on them and go through a few different points, but I'm not going to give you the full big picture here, because this is a fiction. I mean, how can you get every single detail in there? How can you possibly get to the point where you're just like, Luffy is here, Luffy believes this. This is the way he interacts when he gets into the new location. This is how this happens. This is how Nancy Pelosi deals with a crazy no devil's fruit user. I mean, he said devil's fruit. Oh my god. We have morals and decency in this society. How could he say that he ate something from the devil? Oh my god. We're Christians. I don't know if Nancy said that. Probably not. Maybe she's not. Maybe that's where people call her progressive. I mean, I know she's, like, I believe the claim that her, you know, her media claim is, like, proponents of, like, women's rights and maybe environment. No, I hope no one believes that one. Environmental justice, like she does that. No. Like women's rights and civil rights, maybe that's where she thinks she's progressive. I don't know. But, I don't know. It doesn't make much sense to me, you know, how she frames herself in the media spotlight. It just baffles my mind. Oh yeah, I'm a progressive. Really? Like you mean you were, like, on the progressive caucus for a little while? That's what qualifies you for being a progressive? Sure! Why not? No. I'm sorry. No. Start talking Green New Deal Medicare for all, at least come up with better solutions than that. Stop talking the same old crap that's not going to solve the problems that sometimes only have, like, 10 more years before some serious shit goes down, maybe even. Like, we already have serious shit, guys. Like, seriously? Anyways. Luffy running a political campaign. Let's try and get a few more things off here before you guys are just like, this guy has been talking forever about just stuff. And I'm not really, like, I love anime, but I'm not into politics. Or, you know, I love politics and all that shit about Nancy Pelosi is makes perfect sense to me, but what the fuck is this anime he's talking about? I mean, God. Like, he should be a serious commentator. I mean, my God, like... Like, you should not mix fiction and comedy and politics. It's just like, no. Come on, man. You need to be serious. You need to be straight. You should just, like, do the news, man. Or like, anime people are like, I don't want to just deal with that. Like, now they're like hippies or something. Like, I just want my feels, man. I just want to see, like, Luffy punch that celestial dragon in the face and he goes flying and... Yeah. And he saved her! He saved the mermaid! He saved her, man! That's all that matters. You just felt that raw rage in him. I'm just like, fuck you! You're trying to shoot my friends! I'm going to protect them! Damn your status! I want those feels! No. But I mean, if Luffy was running a completely illegal political campaign, he would absolutely be fucking punching people left and right. Like Joe Biden. I'm a progressive. Luffy's just like, BAM! No, he wouldn't do that. He wouldn't do that. Not Joe Biden, no. No. Like, no, he probably, if he was gonna punch anyone, Luffy would probably be like the ultimate power against police brutality. Like, he'd just show up in a city one day and be like walking around speaking his shit to like anyone who would hear it. It's like, I'm running for office because I want to get back to my world and get one piece. People would be like, what the fuck? Like, this is how this guy shows up. He's like, he's running for office so he can get one piece. Why would I vote for him? Why would I vote for him at all? And all of a sudden, like, he ends up in some, like, situation. Because he's in, like, you know, like, the poorest district in the middle of a city. Where disproportionately, you know, all the black people have been, like, crammed off more or less by the economic, you know, divide, you know. And all this districting crap and fucked up years of fucked up bullshit. And he'd just be there. He'd just be there at the right place at the right time when the police was just like on this guy for no reason. I think you have a gun. Put the gun down. I think you have a gun. And it's just this guy's phone or something. You know, this black kid with a phone. And Luffy sees this, and the black guy's just like, the kid's just like, I don't know, I have a phone. The officer's like, gun, and he's about to shoot. He shoots, and then Luffy just stands in the way, right? Stands in the way. The bullet stretches back, flies back, whizzes by the cop's head. Cops go, shooting! Starts shooting, you know, because in these situations, it's often a panic cop. Sometimes maybe it's not a panic cop, but a lot of fearful cops out there. I think maybe they should teach calm and collected, you know, like teach some mental, you know, like let's get some mental health in the policing, like for real, like this seems to be part of the problem. I mean, corruption, we got mental issues, we got fear, you know, this guy's not ready, we've got, you know, struggles with a job. I mean, like, this guy died last week, maybe. I mean, like, seriously, there's, you know, give them, they all need therapists. I mean, that's a given. I don't know if that's already a thing, but if it is, those therapists are fucking in their pockets because they're not doing any good jobs or something. I don't know what the problem is. I really don't. I haven't looked into this. But there seriously is a problem in racism that could very well be the clear one. But this guy came from Kansas and now he's in the inner city. It's like, I don't know. There's a lot of factors going on here. There's a lot of things going into it to espouse the bigger picture on why this happens. To just boil it down to, like, your issue is often a nice thing, but, like, it's not the biggest picture of this whole thing. It's not like, it's not like, there's the political and the capital, you know, aspects and the corruption and all sorts of stuff going on. There's all sorts of stuff going on. So Luffy would basically be there, and you'd just take all the bullets, and they would all fly back, and probably eventually one or two would hit the officer. Of course, it's the officer's fucking fault, but no one's gonna believe in this world that, like, oh yeah, it was just rubber, it bounced off him and flew back. He didn't have a gun, trust me. So, like, for a while, the law enforcement's just gonna be, like, super confused, like, this guy was shooting, but, like, as he was running away, we couldn't see a gun on him, like, the cameras were on him in the car chase. We didn't see a gun in the car. It's like, there was no evidence. Like, a car chase, he wouldn't do a car chase, would he? Well, I mean, he's into ships. He would totally do a car chase. What am I talking about? He would just be a horrible fucking driver. But he would be able to get places way faster than, wow. Hell, he wouldn't have to go, like, full gear fourth, you know? Just to get places fast. He could actually use a car, like, had no cooldown periods, just have to have enough gas, and he'd probably just run out of gas, get another car, run out of gas, get another car. But he'd totally, like, fuck with those cops for a bit. Might even fuck with, like, the next wave that, like, the military would probably have to come after that because the cops would be, well, I mean, eventually at the point where the rubber fist comes flying at the cop, I think they'd start to figure out something weird's going on here. But probably they would think that the cop's going crazy or hallucinating first. I mean, inevitably, our world is not very imaginative, so anything that kind of goes out of our, like, very primitive worldview, of our, like, simple caveman, like, this is stick burns with fire! Like, literally, this is in some mental way, this is how we are as a society right now. You know, anything that's outside of the things that we've already commonly accepted as knowledge, that we know is genuinely there, you know, anything that's outside of that right now, the things that we don't know, the things that we haven't learned yet, you know, like the things that up until a few years ago we didn't know and now we know them, but a few years ago we didn't know them, so we're like, eh? You know, until the science comes out, this doesn't exist, man. And then the science came and I was like, this exists now. It's like this delusion that some people have. Or worse, it's like the people who are in the science totally believe it, but the people who are like, my Christian values says that dinosaurs weren't real. You know, that level of disbelief. My Christian values say that your arm can't stretch with rubber. It can't stretch with rubber. It can't stretch as rubber. He ate a fruit. That's impossible. A devil's fruit, though. I could believe in that if it came from the devil. Okay, why am I going with accents here? All right. If it came from the devil, I believe that, man. That's some serious shit. He needs to, like, back the fuck off, stop eating those devil's fruits, and, like, pray to be saved, man. Because if he prays to be saved, hey, you know, maybe he needs to get baptized. I mean, I'm not a part of that denomination or anything, but I don't know, man. Maybe to really get the devil out of him, he just needs to go through a baptism, an exorcism. I don't know, man. I don't know. If you're saying he looks like he's moving like rubber, like a snake or some weird shit, I mean, like, seriously, man. He needs to see a good old father. I'm dead serious. There's some shit going on there. Like, take him out or something with guns. I don't know. If you can't do, I mean, maybe we need like a priest with a gun. I don't know. I don't know what to do anymore. This guy is crazy. Can you imagine how hard Christians would shit themselves, and some people in the scientific community, if someone came along who could stretch out with fucking rubber and said like, oh yeah, I got this from eating a fruit, they'd be like, well, apparently fiction is real. This footage shows it, and this footage, we've went with the best people, and it is not doctored. It is confirmed, not doctored. This is real footage from CNN News. And it's not fake news, guys. I mean, really, like, that's not how it works. Like, if you get footage this stuff's real. It's just like, we may do things where we're like, give you select clips or not show you that guy's position on that or something, or we won't even cover this guy because we're like focusing on this one candidate. We'll do all that kind of weird shit, you know, but when we're giving you real footage of a rubber arm stretching through the air, we might be in hardcore disbelief on the broadcast right now, shitting our corporate minds and uptight assholes, but it's real news. This is real news. The Rubber Man is here. Rubber Man is here. Rubber Man. They would probably they would call him Rubber Man. Never mind Straw Hat. Like the name Straw Hat wouldn't matter as much. You know, you'd see the straw hat, it'd be there, but Rubber Man, I mean, that's the most important part. That is the headline. Rubber Man beats up cops. And runs for president. It's like, what? Rubber Man beats up cops while running for president? Is that even legal? No, it's not. Oh, shit. Well, we just don't believe that the public would ever bother to get behind a guy like this. And of course they don't highlight this story, meanwhile on social media. Like some other person had their smartphone up at the time, right? And they like this kid was being shot at by the cop, and like they had their smartphone up, like this shit's going down, like this guy's, I need to record this, the cop, police brutality, guys, police brutality, in my neighborhood, what the fuck? And then all of a sudden, out of nowhere, like within an instant in the frame, like he just shows up too fast for the camera to pick up. Luffy is like right there, and the bullet, and it stretches and it flies back, and they're like, what? It's so fast that you can barely see it happen on the footage. It's like not like the anime where it like boing boing. It's like, you know, like a bullet like going that fast. It's like, what the hell? And then that shit shows up on YouTube and Facebook and Twitter and stuff like that. And the title there is like Rubber Man saves the kid, you know, from police brutality. Rubber Man saves the kid from police brutality, and he's running for president. I think that's probably the kind of political campaign you would see from a Monkey D. Luffy. So what would Luffy do if some weird way he found himself in this world running for president? That's a start, at least. He'd do a lot more, but that's the first episode. I don't know if I'll do another one. That would be wow. To do this in episode format would be weird. That'd be like a fan fiction. Tell me if you like it and you want this to be a fan fiction. Hey, maybe I'll be really more into it than I'm thinking I might be into it right now. I mean, really, it's all about how I feel about it in the end, so maybe I'm just thinking too much at the moment, but episode 2? Like, share, subscribe. There's a Patreon page now. Check it out.